Welcome to today's episode of Cars and Cameras. We have a vintage mini bike revival for you today. I just picked up this 1970 Fox Condor for $150. It had been sitting in a barn for at least 20 years. So everything on this bike, when you look closely, is just really, really cool. So we're going to get it running today with some parts from GoPowersports.com and also share with you our tips and tricks and things to consider when you buying your first mini bike, whether it be old or new. The first thing we need to do is clean the bike up, make it look a little bit more presentable, change the oil, drop the carburetor bowl, and see if we can clean some things out, and then we can see if it'll run.
All right, man.
Is that not the coolest factory seat you've ever seen on a mini bike?
It's pretty cool, dude.
And look at that piping and stripes. Did you know, back in 1969, I don't know about 1970, the year this was made, but the price on these started at $79.
That is awesome.
Yes.
The carburetor has no bowl,
It's got a diaphragm in it.
so there are probably a bunch of seals in there that have gone bad.
Probably so.
Alright. We're going to try anyway though, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. We'll just clean everything up, put a fuel line on it, throw some gas in it.
See what happens.
I'm sure it doesn't have any spark. We're going to probably have to clean up the points, but yeah, points, fuel. Hopefully it'll fire it up. Oh yeah, we need to put some air in the tires.
Right.
Pronto.
Yeah, so we're going to do as little as we can, but we're probably going to have to throw some Go Power Sports parts on it, like chain, throttle cable, all those stuff you usually need to replace when you buy an old mini bike. Which brings us to our first tip, which is what you should pay for an old mini bike. Like I said, I paid $150 for this bike, and there are just dozens of manufacturers of old mini bikes from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and even now. The prices are all over the place. And I would say, whatever you're looking at, look it up online, and whatever you find for the price, if anything, should probably be the maximum amount you're willing to pay. The best way to get a good deal on an old mini bike, a go-kart, a chainsaw, a car, church pews, is to buy something that is not advertised as being for sale. Perfect example is a few months ago, Ike found a Camaro or a Mustang or something on Facebook he wanted to buy. Got up with the guy. He went over to the guy's shop and he paid him for the car. And in the corner of the shop, he noticed that there was an old mini bike sitting up. Looked like it hadn't been touched in years. He asked him how much the guy wanted for the bike, and the guy was like, "Give me $25 and it's yours."
I didn't even talk him down, man.
Yeah, I mean, $25 for an old mini bike frame is a steal. And that's because, you know, you're already there. He doesn't necessarily know what it's worth. He's not, you know, he doesn't have the expectations of what he wants for it. So it's like giving him anything is bonus. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, plus he was moving. He was ready to move stuff.
Oh, it's leaking.
Yeah.
So our rear tire was just not holding air. So we had to run out. We bought a Honda 50 dirt bike tire. So we're going to install that. But first, Ike is going to see if we have spark. Because if we don't, that's a whole procedure to clean the points off. Which we probably won't because it's been sitting for 20 years.
I guarantee we're going to have to clean the points up.
All right, let's find out.
Yeah. Oh, it looks brand new.
Nothing.
That clutch.
Clutch is bad.
I'll lube it.
No spark.
Alright, so I'll take the cover off.
Yep, you'll work on cleaning the points while I work on changing that rear tire.
Okay.
Ike's looking into the ignition system, and I got the old tire completely off. And you can just kind of get a glimpse of what these wheels looked like back in 1973. We found out this was made.
So long term, I'm going to take these wheels back off, get them relaced, and see about getting powder coated chrome. I think that would just really set this thing off. But for today, I have a new tube and a Honda, like a new Honda 50 dirt bike tire that I'm going to put on it because it's the only thing we were able to grab locally today.
I gotta say, man,
Yep.
I really did not like the look of that tire when it was off the bike. Now that it's on, I love it so much. I'm like ready to go full miniature dirt bike on this thing.
Let's try some, see if we have some spark. You ready?
Yep.
Look at that.
Oh, sweet.
That's some good looking spark.
Did you check if it has oil in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How does it look?
It looks good.
Sweet.
I think we ought to change it, but it's a little low. If we add some now, run it,
It'll get all the chunks
it'll
loose.
get all the chunks loose, and then we drain it and fill it back up.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So, carburetor time, right?
Well, I got to put this cover back on and spark. Yeah. I mean, carburetor time. I say we clean out the fuel tank, put fuel to it,
See what happens.
and see what happens.
Sure.
You never know, dude.
Yeah.
We're down to the fuel.
That's right, down to the fuel system. So, had to install a new brass fitting here with some thread sealant. I love this fuel tank, man. And just snug, right?
Yeah.
So we ended up cutting the chain. We were gonna see how long it lasted, but like at best, it was just gonna destroy the sprocket. So we're gonna throw on some chain from GoPowersports.com. We have some fuel line here from Go Power Sports as well. They sell all kinds of different colors for whatever you need. I think white is just gonna match this color pattern the best out of what we had. I had red and blue hanging around, so clear is gonna work for us. So recycled fuel filter, because it's all we have here right now, and fuel cutoff, which is around right there.
Oh, you got it.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, look at all that buildup.
It's probably this valve.
Yeah, it's getting clogged in the valve.
All right.
There it is. Look at it all on your finger.
It's almost like someone took an entire field and dumped it in the fuel tank. Another thing to point out, the fuel filter we installed is used. It's all we have, and it's backwards. It was originally installed backwards, so we're just continuing with the same flows. All right, so while Ike is filling it up, I figured I'd share another tip for when we're buying an old mini bike. I think it's safe to say that the more features a bike has, the more you should be prepared to pay for it. What do you think about that, Ike?
I agree.
Like, this has full suspension, chrome, nice exhaust, so it's going to be on the more expensive end of the barn find mini bikes. $150. I mean, you've bought mini bikes for $25, $50, $100 for rollers.
But not as cool as this one.
Yeah, exactly. So I paid a premium for it because it's just, I think it's a cool mini bike. So, you know, if you go out there and you find a stiff chassis mini bike and the guy wants $150, also it just depends on what's around you too. If there's not a lot of supply around there and there's a lot of demand, be prepared to spend a lot of money if you're on the demand side of things. Am I getting too technical?
$150 for this one is not a premium. Just saying.
Yep. Hey! Oh man.
Carburetor's gonna have to come off.
All right. Kind of knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah. So quiet.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm in my old man phase where I like quiet stuff now.
All right. So it seems that we have something clogged up in the carburetor.
So we tried to clean out this fuel inlet on the carburetor, probably unsuccessfully, but we're gonna try it again. Cause why not? Yeah, so it's not taking fuel. So let's pull this carburetor and keep our fingers crossed. I gotta say, I'm kind of falling in love with it a little bit.
I fell in love with it even before we went and got it.
Yeah. The trash has fallen back out of the filter.
There it is.
All right, we got a carburetor, a bolus carburetor.
I've never had one of these apart. Can't wait to try it out.
Oh, I can't wait to get in there and figure out all the seals that are gone bad and
Oh
stuff.
no, shh. What is wrong with you?
I mean,
It's gonna be fine. All right, let's get it.
For years, we said we can't mount this vise to the table because this isn't our place. And now that we have our own place, we don't even have a table.
Oh no. There we go.
Oh, you got it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh god, it's no good. The diaphragm is broken.
Ooh, crunch.
That's supposed to be rubber.
Yeah,
It's getting late. I guess we're gonna have to figure something out in the morning.
sounds good.
so we have a game plan. Last night I ordered a diaphragm kit for this carburetor, but for today we're going to try to throw on this Mikuni 22mm from GoPowerSports.com. It's going to be rich, but the long-term plan is to build this old HS40. I read last night that there are 3 camshaft options, and I can get a billet rod for it as well. So whenever I do all that stuff, this 22 should flow pretty well for this engine, but it's going to be a little bit rich right now. Also, I ordered a custom reproduction seat for this bike last night. I paid more for the seat than I did for the entire bike, basically. But it's just so original, it's so complete, I thought it was really worth it. This is going to be a nice bike when it's done. Although, Go Power Sports, they just started selling these really Bass Boat Flake seats that are really, really cool. Thought about using it, but I'm just really going for originality. I would have saved a lot of money with something like this, though. So Ike is going to work on building a new intake manifold for us to adapt this Mikuni. I'm going to work on adapting either replacing, I don't want to, or adapting the twist grip here to work with this Mikuni carburetor. So let's get to it.
We are right there, buddy.
Yeah, man.
The intake manifold looks good, I gotta say.
Thank you.
I mean, considering you made it out of 2 washers and a scrap piece of pipe.
Yeah, well, I'd like to make another one and do a better job, but this is just for testing purposes, right?
Yeah, we're just so limited on what we have, equipment and tools and material right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it should work, knock on wood. We have
Yeah.
new chain, new carburetor, new fuel system other than the tank. I had to swap out the original throttle because it's backwards, and when I took it apart, there was a broken piece in there anyway, so it's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. This will work, and it matches well enough.
All right, John. We got the mini bike put together, and you're gonna crank it up and take it out for its maiden voyage.
That's right. You rigged up a fuel cap from a new style Tecumseh.
Yeah. Oh, the clutch did get oiled up, remember? Wow.
Not bad on the road, though. The clutch might be trying to engage. I'm just going to stay moving. I'm going to go down the road.
Okay. It sounds like it wants to do something. I'm listening to him right now and he's getting on it. I'm gonna guess that it has a top speed of, it's got a pretty big sprocket on it. 4 horse, 28 to 30 miles per hour.
It rides really good.
Awesome.
Very smooth out there.
Yeah.
And I like the feel of these skinny wheels as well.
Yeah.
I think the clutch is probably trying to engage all the time.
Okay. Well,
And the brakes worked at first, and now they don't work at all.
okay, you know how much I love the TrailMasters?
Yep.
How well they keep the mud off of your clothes?
Uh-oh.
Dude, you are wrapped up.
Really?
Yeah, but you know, just like the shirt says, it'll be fine, right?
Yeah. Oh well.
It's
You want to
sweet.
take it for a ride?
Not as
Not as wet as it is.
you know what? I've got the welding coat on. I'll do it.
Take it for a cruise.
I will. This 22mm carburetor is working way better than I thought it would.
Yeah, we got the idle adjusted, which we had it adjusted wrong up here. Well, I did anyhow. So now we got it idled right, and it seems to be doing really well.
Yep, here we go. Thing cranks up so good,
Yeah, it's that new carburetor.
runs so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, 23.7. It's not fast.
yeah.
Might as well be 15. It's slow either way. Woo, the air filter!
Will it do a burnout?
I'm sure it will. So what do you think, man?
I love it.
Me too.
It's like the best mini bike.
It kind of is the best mini bike ever.
Yeah.
Well, vintage style anyhow.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think a bigger back tire, a little wider,
Yep.
and put that on the front.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm just really happy how this mini bike performed stock. Of course, it's not fast by modern standards, but for 1970, I think it's got plenty of get up and go. So long term, like I mentioned earlier, I'm thinking I'm gonna put a high performance cam in this thing, high performance billet rod, maybe do a little bit of porting of the intake and exhaust runners. Of course, fine tune the carburetor, and I think I'm gonna add a slightly smaller rear sprocket to that list, just to give me a little bit more top speed. It'd be nice to be able to get maybe 30 out of this thing, maybe just a little bit more, but the pickup is great. So in an upcoming episode, like I said, I already ordered a reproduction seat. That'll be here in 8 weeks. Unfortunately, she is quite backed up right now. So whenever I get that seat in, I'll also be working to get these wheels rebuilt, and so we'll have another restoration episode for you. And then after that, I think we're gonna have an all-out performance episode on this old Tecumseh, because I know you guys have been requesting that for a long time, and now we have the perfect specimen to do that with. So yeah, I'm just happy. I dig it so much. Anyway, leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video today, guys. Subscribe to Cars and Cameras for future updates on the Fox Condor, on the Trophy Cart, Cross Cart, all our other projects. If you have an old mini bike that you need parts for, visit GoPowersports.com. They have all kinds of parts for all kinds of old bikes. Of course, we use the 22mm carburetor from them, and that is working flawlessly on this bike so far. New chain, new twist grip, and a couple other odds and ends really helped us out on this build. Other than that, it's all just kind of original stuff we're reusing. So, yeah. Facebook, Instagram, at Cars and Cameras Reviews for sneak peeks on what we're up to. Buy a t-shirt at cars-cameras.com to help support the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Oh, Ike, isn't there something you want to say?
Sure. Check me out at Isaac. It'll be fine. Y'all be safe out there.